Okay.
We're rolling.
Alright, let's do this. First of all, is everybody awake?
Yeah.
Both literally and figuratively, are you guys awake?
Yes.
Alright, let's get into this. So, it all started when I was 12 years old. My friends and I at the time would play Civilization and Risk. Two political and war games, like strategy games. And while we were playing these games, we would rant about the Obama administration and the gridlock in Congress at the time. Surprisingly. And I already knew I loved history, current events, and politics. But it was as I would volunteer for church events and feeding the homeless that I realized something was wrong with the system inherently. My church that I was a part of at the time, Foothills Christian Church, was quite openly and unapologetically supporting Republican politicians, whether incumbent or to be newly elected. But the policies behind those Republicans that they were supporting were not reflecting Christian values in the sense that they were hostile towards foreigners, hostile towards the poor, homeless, and middle class in their policies. I realized that there must be something better than this, that we need to take back our democracy. I realized that although I might not be a Democrat, I am certainly not a Republican. So I began researching the arguments against and for progressive policies. By the time I was 14, I was in honors geography class. My teacher at the time was a staunch supporter of Obama. During one of our classes, there came a point where I shared one of my criticisms of Obama, and she actually told me I was right in front of the entire class. That's the moment I started thinking I might be a progressive. By this time, I had already began distancing myself from the Republican church that I grew up in and developing a more secular worldview. Fast forward to 2016, there's a primary election between, first and foremost, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and on the Republican side, you have Ted Cruz versus Donald Trump. We all know how that ended up. I'm in an advanced placement government class, and we have weekly debates on various policy subjects. A few policies that I can remember debating are first and foremost the military budget. I was shocked to experience the smearing, ad hominem attacks, and other dirty tactics to shame me into supporting our nation's military. Too many people said to me that I was not patriotic for opposing increases of the military budget and continuation of the foreign interventionist wars that the United States was having overseas. When I looked closer, I realized this was deeply embedded in my society. I grew up in San Diego County, which had an enormous military population and several enormous military bases. And there was just no getting over this hurdle in the minds of my peers. The second policy discussion I can remember was the healthcare system. I remember an overwhelming amount of the students actually did come out for Medicare for All, a universal healthcare system that would cover everybody with public health insurance. However, it was really disappointing to me that 1 in 4 of my classmates actually argued for the continuation of our privatized health insurance system, with the grounding of their arguments in social Darwinist philosophies. Basically, this is actually paraphrasing one of the students. If you can't afford healthcare, you're lazy and deserve to die. And this makes me laugh right now, but only because otherwise I would break down in tears because this deeply saddens me. A 17-year-old said this. And if this person sees this or hears this one day, this is nothing personal. Though I knew you were wrong then, you're still wrong. I'm fighting for better healthcare for you as well. I was really disappointed and hoped that people would be more empathetic, but it turned out that this was not the case. My school was in a place with many middle and upper class white families who did not understand the severity of the problem. Today, 44 million people in the United States have no health insurance. Another 38 million have inadequate health insurance, and counting, thanks to Trump's suggested cuts on Medicare and Medicaid, meaning that they do not get the health care they need. Without insurance in the States, an advanced life support ambulance ride will start around $1,000. Again, with distance and supplies added on top. With health insurance, that could cost you $1,000 or $100 or a few $100s, depending on your level of health insurance, what you can afford. This is outrageous in one of the richest countries in the world, and one of the most developed. This is the moment when I finally understood I am a progressive and I know what a progressive is. I'm Evan Bermel, and I'm damn proud to say that I am a progressive. Thank you.